3 positive thinking mistakes average Joes make and how to avoid them. Hello and welcome to the podcast. I am Paul Drake, your host. Thanks for tuning in. I appreciate you being here. Now, if you stick it out to the end, I am giving people a free opportunity to get in and experience the free course that I'm making. So stay tuned for that. Now, let's get into the episode. Positive thinking mistakes every average Joe needs to avoid. This is an interview by me, Paul Drake, and my experiences on these mistakes and how I've sort of overcome them and how you can do the same. What is my background on positive thinking? Well, before I got into the personal growth mindset that I am in today, I was one of these people that was very set on thinking that life is a burden, life is a bitch, as they say, life is not as good as what people make it out to be. So, how does this all change? Well, I was currently as a PT and I were not doing very well, let's just put it that way, and I was getting further and further into debt. Now, when you've got kids and a missus and stuff like that, you need to make sure you're providing. If you can't, then obviously there's a lot of strain on relationships. So me and my current girlfriend ended up almost breaking up through it. So there was quite a lot of anguish and a lot of pain through to me doing personal training, which was supposed to have been my job of my dreams, basically. Now, what happened is I ended up going back to work full time, which is something that I said to myself I'd never do. Once I become self-employed, I didn't ever want to go back. Now, obviously, I went back, and then this is when I realised that I had to change my whole mindset on the way I looked at everything. Because it was me that was making the mistakes, it was me that was making these circumstances in my life happen to me, not the other way around. So, I started it from it must have been about 10 months ago now, when I started really focusing on the mind and really focusing on what you can and cannot achieve. Now, have I got any formal education? No. I've learnt this all from reading books and doing courses myself. So I've taken what other people have extracted out of their years and years of knowledge. I've taken it into my own life and I have kind of adapted it for myself, because everyone is not the same and we all do things differently and we all change and we all have different ways of learning things and absorbing and actually creating our own lives. So it is best to get a full spectrum of all these different people's knowledges, and there's a list later on of who the people I've learned from to help you out so you can start doing the same thing. So, what kind of things have I done, experiences that are relevant for you lot to avoid? Well, I used to think that thinking positively was a hippie thing. That's something you need to break out of the mindset. I used to think that, oh, well, it's so easy for you to think positive because you've got this and this and this and this, or thinking positively is only for the delusional. It is not true, and it is time to break away from that immediately, because it doesn't serve you and it is the only way that's going to make sure you keep attracting all the things that you do not want in your life. I was not an overnight success, and I am telling you now, I am still learning and I am still trying to figure things out, but I am well on the path to becoming the best version of myself. We all learn at different paces, so if it takes you longer, like me, I am just an average Joe, and all the negative and bad things that got put into my head as when I was younger and growing up, all the limiting beliefs and stuff like that, are very hardwired into my brain, so they are taking more time to break out and to snap the bad habits. But it's about building the foundation from below and really building it up high. So even if your foundation takes a bit longer to build, don't ever stress about that, because you are building the right blocks to make sure your house doesn't fall down. Now, the number one mistake average Joes make in the area of positive thinking is thinking that life happens to you. Now, the way I'm going to clarify on that is the fact that the The bias says that our perceptions affect our thoughts, which is totally true. So your life is the result of your own thoughts, not the events that are actually happening to you. Now, why is this mistake and why do people make it? It's because when we're younger and as we're growing up and as we're like coming into like adulthood, when younger as teenagers, we end up getting more and more absorbed from other people and our own families and our parents. They may love us, but we're taking advice from people that have never really ever exceeded in anything. They have done what everyone else has done before them, so they've got told from their parents, they got told from their parents, and they've not really ever evolved. Unless you have a successful parent, then fair enough. Learn from them if they're got a successful business and they're happy and they're fulfilled and they're living the life of their dreams, then take as much information as you can from them. But if your parents or your loved ones are telling you that you need to do something, like my dad tells me all the time that that's not the way to run a business, this isn't how to live your life, but he isn't living his best life and he's never run a successful business, or he's not really ever shown to me that he's living his best life because he hasn't. So you're taking advice in these limiting beliefs from people that love you, don't get me wrong, they love you and they want the best for you, but they are not serving you properly. Now, if you have negative thoughts, you also have negative perceptions of life. Meaning that if you start thinking like illogically that, right, if I do this then it's not going to work for me, or I can't do that, or I don't feel confident enough to do that, then obviously it's not going to work out for you. Henry Ford said, if you believe you can or you believe you can't, either way you're right. So keep that in mind. Now, what you can do about it: you can be mindful and expose yourself to people who are more positive, that you want the things that you want, that have got the things that you want. That's a great way of making sure that you're all in the same mindset, you're all in the same attitude, you're all getting the way that you need to be. Now, what are the consequences of this mistake? Well, the thing is, the biggest consequence is you won't get what you actually want in life. It's as simple as that. You may stumble upon a couple of things, but to truly get what you want, you need to get your attitude and your positive thinking right, or else you'll never get what you want. Now, what you should do instead of thinking about like things negatively and about thinking life happens to you is by consciously absorbing your emotions throughout the day, consciously thinking about how you're going to perceive yourself towards others, how you're going to make yourself out to live how you want to be and how you feel that life should be. Now, I had quite a few instances where I thought to myself, this isn't right. I don't feel happy. I'm doing stuff that I think other people want me to do. And one of them was working. Loads of people have told me I'm silly for giving up my job with no other job, but I am passionate and I'm truly willing to give up the wages so I can put in the effort towards this podcast and getting myself known in this sense and making my life how I want to be. So you'll have negative people and negative people and negative people telling you what to do. So do not let them dictate what you can and cannot do. So what should you do if you're already making this mistake and how to fix it? Read books, do courses, and get yourself in that right positive frame of mind. As soon as you get yourself and you get your perspectives right on life, things will start falling into place and you'll start actually getting what you want. How do you prevent making mistakes in the future? Just staying conscious. You need to make sure you're staying conscious with yourself, staying conscious with your feelings, and you're living true to how you want to live. It's as simple as that. Don't let anyone dictate what is good and what is bad. You make the decision yourself by learning. You learn all the stuff like other people's experiences and stuff like that, where there's people like Jim Rohn and Zig Ziglar and stuff like that. Like ooze out positivity. You read their stuff, you take then the knowledge that you want into yours, and then you adapt it to make it into your own. Now, any tools or insight to help people get results faster, easier, more effective? Yes, there's books and there's courses, which I'll discuss a bit later on. Now, what the average Joe mistake number 2 makes in the area of positive thinking is thinking your mind can be trusted. Now, this is a big one. What do I mean by that is, basically, if you still think your mind is your friend, you are wrong. The proof is in a well-known cognitive bias, which is basically believing that your behaviors are confirming your preconceptions. Which means if you believe in something, you will try hard. Well, that is correct. And if you don't believe in something, you won't do something. So what you've got to do is think of your mind as a tool and the learning process. Take everything into your mind, but sometimes it lies to you. Have you ever been in the situation where you've thought someone did something deliberately, and you're so adamant, and you're getting more wound up, and you're getting more angry, and you're getting frustrated, and you're getting just so pissed off that this person would do this to you? And then when it comes up to it, you go up to this person, you shout at them, you say, da 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 da, why have you done this, blah blah blah. And they've just come up to you and said, look, I don't know what you're talking about. I didn't do it on purpose. I didn't do this. And then you've then made this massive situation which could have been avoided because you believed in what your mind had to say. Now, why is it a mistake, and why do people make it? Because we live by what our mind tells us. Oh, don't do that because it's dangerous. Don't talk to this person because it's dangerous. We get told as a kid. Don't stand on that thing because it's dangerous. We get told that as a kid. What else? We need to go to work for someone else as soon as you leave school. That's been printed into our brain. That's a mistake. You have to live by these rules. You have to do this, you have to do that. These are the things that we've been printed into our brains that our mind is telling us that we need to do every single day. But are these things actually serving you, or are they not? Now, the consequences of this mistake is you won't live the life that you want. Simple as that. It's the same as the other one. If you're doing this, you won't ever progress. You won't ever succeed in the areas that you want, because you're listening to false limiting beliefs that other people have imprinted into your brain. What you should do instead is, as I say, learn, do courses, read books, make sure that you are investing in yourself. Like, there's the thing that Zig Ziglar says in one of his books, and it says about, would you feed a $1 billion horse nicotine, cigarettes, and get it to stay up late? And everyone in the, well, I think it was actually someone I listened to, everyone in the audience was like, no, 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 no. Right then, so why do we do it to our bodies? That's exactly the same as what we do with our minds. We feed it with all this junk and all this crap, and then we feed it bad nutrition, we stay up late, and what happens? We end up not moving any further forward, and we're ruining our bodies and our minds. Now, what should they do to avoid this mistake? Staying conscious again. It is literally that simple. Staying conscious of your feelings and think to yourself, is this actually true? Or has someone imprinted this negativity or this limiting belief or this thought into my head? Or is it actually my thought? Now, how do you prevent this from doing it again? Just keeping true to yourself. If you concentrate on your feelings and you feel good, then you know it's a good decision. If you're feeling bad, then it's a bad decision. So you need to make sure you're staying conscious of your feelings. We do it all the time. We do things and we're like, this don't feel right. This don't feel right. I feel bad. But yet, we still do it anyway. So, feel good. You'll not make the same mistake again. The tools, yep, courses and books, which I'll discuss later on. Now, the third mistake that average Joes make is thinking you'll never do something again. How many times have you said to yourself, I'll never do that again? And then for it to do it again the following week. The most, I'd say the most one is used the most is when we say we're never going to drink again. Me personally, I don't drink. I said to myself I'll never drink again. And that were 5 years ago. Yeah, about 5 years ago. So, but most people say, "Oh, I'll never drink again," because they've gone out on a Friday or Saturday night. They've got absolutely blinded, and what happens the next day? They feel absolutely shocking. They feel like crap. They feel like they're throwing up, can't eat, or they say, "Oh, I'm never doing that again. Oh no, I'm not doing that." And then what happens? Following week, right, pal, you going out for a drink? Yeah, I'll be there in 10 minutes. So don't ever say to yourself you'll never get stressed out, that you'll never go to that place again, that you'll never screw up relationships, you'll never go and work for someone else again. These are all little things that people say to themselves, and then what happens? They end up going to do it again. Now, why is this a mistake? Because it's all well and good saying that you'll never do something, and I appreciate and I accept the fact that we don't necessarily want to do the things again in our life, but circumstances and things happen which we might necessarily foresee. So better to say I don't want to do something and acknowledge that you don't want to do it, and then don't focus on what you don't want to do. We're going to be focusing on what you want to do. So if you don't want to go back to work for someone else, right, you've acknowledged it. Now start thinking about what you want to do. I want to work for myself. I want to create a career that I can be happy with, and I want to create a life of freedom. That's one example. Or another one could be, I don't want to smoke again. So you've got that into your head, right? I do not want to smoke. Acknowledge it. Now, don't think about what you don't want. Think about what you do want. I want to be smoke. I want to be I want to be feeling healthy. I don't want to have. Not you thinking about don't want. I want to have a healthy and happy life. I want to be, I don't know, nicotine free. Simple as that. You want to think about the things that you want, and that will make sure you don't make this mistake. Now, what do you need to what should you do already if you make this mistake? Make sure that you're changing you don't want to what you do want. And if you say never to yourself, try and keep that word out your vocabulary. Just don't say never. Simple as that. Now, how do you prevent making the mistake in the future? Staying conscious of what you're saying, staying conscious of your thoughts again. Everything that I'm talking about today, about being positive and stuff, it will all come down to being mindful and being connected to yourself and how you're feeling. There's a lot of things that we do in life that we don't necessarily acknowledge because it becomes normal. Start thinking about your feelings and being conscious, you'll end up not doing it again. So, what is a positive thinking mistake average Joes make where they think in their minds they're actually doing the right thing and don't realize it's a mistake? So, something that you do, that you think to yourself, this is right, but it actually is a mistake. Listening to other people. Simple as that. If you're listening to other people that are telling you and advising you on how to live your life, but yet they're not living the way they want to, or they're not living how you want to, then stop listening to them. We all have friends and family, you know, the ones that like to give us advice that every time we listen we just sigh and we're like, here we go again. Well, stop listening to them, because eventually after they keep saying it, you may not consciously think about what they're saying, but subconsciously your mind, because it keeps going over the same thing over and over again, starts thinking that way, and then you start thinking negatively, and you start thinking that you'll never be able to do it. So do not listen to people who don't have what you have got. Now, are there any other major mistakes about positive thinking that I need to let you know about? Yes, there is, and that is You're making the mistake every day if you believe that as soon as you wake up that one morning and say, right, I'm going to change my mindset forever, and then never think about it again. Being positive and creating the life you want takes work and it takes repetitions. You may think, oh, I don't really want to do the work, but what would you rather do? Have a bad and negative life where things are going wrong and you are miserable, or would you rather put the effort in every day, really progressing, really learning, really moving forward to make your life better? So you can't just wake up one morning and say, right, I'm going to be positive, without then breaking away all the old limiting beliefs and then constructing new beliefs and new positive thinking structures, which helps over the long term, making you a better person. Now, what are some positive thinking mistake tools or resources that you can have to become better? Now, there's Jim Rohn, brilliant person to listen to. He has got loads of things on YouTube and courses and just books and everything. He is great. Now, there is Zig Ziglar. I have read a few of his books and listened to stuff on YouTube as well. One of the books I've read recently is See at the Top. It is amazing. It helps you bring out your own self-esteem, makes you feel better about yourself, and just making you bring the right mental attitude towards every single day. Then there is Tony Robbins. Now, he is more of a motivational and positive and like a whole... like Tony Robbins learned from Jim Rohn, and he learned from all these other people, and he is prime example. He learned from all these other people, and then what happened now? He's one of the best known speakers of all time, and he makes billions of pounds per year from doing it. So Tony Robbins is a prime example. Learn from other people. He read like, I think, 700 books within the space of a few years, and he got absolutely amazing on his subject, on his craft. And then he took everything from it and he learned what he can and can't do, and he made it into his own, and what process he took. Amazing. Basically, Tony Robbins has got loads of courses, loads of books. If there's anything, maybe start with him. It's up to you. There's Les Brown. There is loads of other people. Les Brown is quite well known for his positive thinking. The man himself is like very easy to listen to, and he does inspire you and make you more like proactive in doing things. So there's a few there. Obviously, it's just about Googling and YouTubing it. Literally, you put in Tony Robbins or Jim Rohn or Zig Ziglar, Les Brown into YouTube, you'll get loads and loads and loads of free videos just to start watching. Once you start getting into it and you start wanting to maybe go into a bit more, that's when you can look up their courses, and then you can start paying money to then really better yourself from there. So that is about it for today. The last question is, what is the mistake that cost average Joes a lot of time and wasted effort? What costs you a lot of time is listening to yourself from the past. This costs you a lot of time, a lot of effort. Listening to yourself saying, I can't do this and I can't do that, and I'll never be able to change, and that's not the person I am. These are all limiting beliefs that are wasting your life. So stop them today. Start learning, start becoming more proactive, and start making a better attitude. Oh, in fact, there is another question. Shows how many slides and notes in here. Right, what mistake that creates a lot of mental stress and anxiety for the average Joe? It's literally listening to other people and listening to your own limited beliefs. These are making you stressed out, and these are making you anxious. You are listening to feelings that don't serve you. So I'm currently on medication at the minute because I've got ulcerative colitis, and the medication I'm on is quite bad for this. I feel very stressed and I feel very anxious, and I'm trying to break through this at the minute. And it's like, because the medication is bringing up all these old negative beliefs, all these negative thoughts, it's making me quite anxious to even leave the house, which isn't good. But I know it's the medication, so I'm trying to fight through it, trying to push myself. So you just need to stop listening to old anxieties and old stresses that really are only facts to you, because they may not be the same for someone else. So that's what you're going to keep in perspective as well. What you think are facts might not necessarily be facts to someone else. Now, what would I say to the average Joe who is nervous and they can't able to move forward? Start learning about different ways that you can create a life that you want. So if you're too nervous about showing other people, then the best thing to do is learn how to do things and then just do it. Honestly, the way to conquer any fear is by just doing it. So if you've learned enough and you feel like you can move forward and you're scared of other people's judgment, then who cares? Honestly, who cares what they think? Who cares? Just get and do it. Just force yourself to do it. That first time is going to be the most scariest. Honestly, that first time is going to be the most scariest. And once you move past that fear, then that's it. That first time, then you can start progressing. As soon as you do that first time, celebrate it. Celebrate it like you've never celebrated anything in your life before. And then that imprints a positive imprint into your brain, so that the next time you go and do it, you think about that and you think, yeah, I'm going to do it. So then your second time, you celebrate it like even better than that first time that you did it, and keep going like that. And before long, you'll have such a great positive and such a great way of looking at that thing that was negative that it won't even be negative anymore. It'd be such a brilliant experience. Now, I thought there was only one more question, but there's quite a few. What is specific fear that holds most average Joes back, and how do they get over it? The most specific fear is themselves. It's you. Now let that sink in. It's you holding yourself back. Not anyone else. It's you. Not the government, not the schools, not your work, not the bureaucracy, whatever you want to call it. It's you. You are the one that's holding yourself back. So if you want to move forward, then start learning. Start finding ways to create a life that you want, and start taking steps towards it. That's as simple as it gets. You take them steps towards what you want to achieve in life, your fears will just get smashed out the park. Now, how can you find out more about me? I have got links around social media, Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, Twitter. Find me. I post content out every day. Like, share, whatever you need to do. Same as this video. Please like it. Please share it. Please subscribe if you're on YouTube. If you are on iTunes or Spotify, things like that, please leave a review. I want the channel to grow, and I want to bring this forward and make people better, basically. So what I need you to do, this will be a little bit of a freebie that I'm giving away. I'm currently on a quest to help the average Joes like me learn how to reconnect with themselves and find happiness back in your life without worrying about other people's judgments, so you know how to live a better life each day. How would you do that? Well, basically, this is a special bonus. I'm creating a course which is called How to Reconnect with Yourself and Find Happiness Back in Your Life Without Worrying About Other People's Judgments. In the course is a step-by-step process to overcoming obstacles, creating an unbreakable mindset, and much, much more. All you have to do is fill out one question on freedomlifeschool.com/free-live-workshop, and you'll get an experience. Well, you'll get to experience the course for free, which I'll be selling at £150. But what I want to do is do it for free and let people experience it, so then it makes me show to other people that the course actually works, and it's going to give you the experience of creating the life that you want for free. So the reason is, basically, I want to make the average Joes the best that they can, and I want to transform your life, and I want to make sure everything's in the course. To do that, that's why I'm giving it away free to the people who answer this question. That's it for today's episode. and I hope to see you again soon. Don't forget to subscribe, hit the like, share it, review it, whatever. I really would appreciate it. Thanks again, guys.